So I had an epiphany the other day about the Scream franchise. Or at least, what I like to think was an epiphany. Maybe you will think this is less of a big deal than I do, but today we will be talking about the Scream franchise, and specifically the cinematic masterpiece known as Scream 3. And even more specifically than that,
Roman Birdger.
But why talk about
Roman Birdger?
Clearly one of the worst characters to ever materialize from a Scream movie? Well, I'll tell you why.
What if
Roman Birdger
wasn't
Roman Birdger
at all?
And what I mean by that is this. What if
Roman Birdger
wasn't
Roman Birdger?
And what I mean by that is, what if
Roman Birdger
wasn't actually a real person within the Scream universe?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Let me explain. As we all know, and if you don't know, then spoiler alert,
Roman Birdger
is the older half-brother of Sidney Prescott, who isn't revealed as such until the final act of Scream 3. For the majority of the film's runtime, we know
Roman Birdger
as just some filmmaker working on the newest Stab sequel. But by the time Sidney lays waste to this newest Ghostface killer, we learn that not only is
Roman Birdger
Sidney's brother, put up for adoption years prior and rejected by Maureen when he tried to reconnect with her at a later time, but we also learn that he's basically been the ultimate mastermind behind this entire situation, the entire time. The guy straight up tells Sidney that he convinced Billy Loomis to kill Maureen to get himself a partner in crime, a la Stu Macher, and find someone to frame for the murder, a la Cotton Weary. That's all fine and dandy. I have a lot of problems myself with this whole plot thread and its attempt to sort of wrap things up in this perfect bow. It just made things messier if you ask me. But fine and dandy nonetheless. For the sake of this video, let's move on. So here we are, on the verge of Scream 6. For some reason, looking back at 5 Scream films full of Scream canon and different slashers and seemingly different motives, all encircling Sidney Prescott.
As it should be. Sidney is the most important character. You're a fucking moron if you think otherwise.
But within that mix, you have this weird trilogy-capping storyline that only really connects Scream 1 and Scream 3 together, where again,
Roman Birdger
is this grandmaster murder planner guy that hires 2 high school lackeys to start a murder spree while wearing ghost costumes. This basically means that, according to Scream 3, without
Roman Birdger,
there would never be a string of Woodsboro murders, and there wouldn't be the succeeding events of Scream 2, 3, 4, 5, or soon to be 6. With a pen stroke and a few lines in a script,
Roman Birdger
instantly became the most important villain in the franchise. But what if that pen stroke was, in itself, a lie? What if that plot beat was its own misdirect in-universe? What if
Roman Birdger
wasn't even really
Roman Birdger
at all, just another killer placating an in-world script in order to further confuse and traumatize Sidney, possibly still working with somebody else, an unrevealed Ghostface that has still never been revealed. And by the time he's killed off by Sidney in Scream 3, he was either so ingrained in the lore that he just couldn't believe his plan was crumbling before him, or he was just too injured to reveal the actual truth to her before he died. Or maybe a combination of both. Who knows? But this is what I was thinking about, circling back to the title of this video. We don't really know that
Roman Birdger
was
Roman Birdger.
We know what he told Sidney. We know what he took credit for. We know it kind of became the accepted truth in the Scream universe from that point forward in the story. But wouldn't it be insane if the next big Scream twist was that Roman was never actually Roman? He was never Sidney's brother, and he never actually had anything to do with orchestrating the events of the first film? Wouldn't that be crazy? That would be a total Scream twist too. And considering that Stu was originally supposed to be the mastermind killer in Scream 3 and not Roman, I think we could take any of the established canon as a giant franchise-spanning red herring for something much darker, much bolder, and much more devious in its plans. But who could it be? Who could have hired the
Roman Birdger
guy? Was Roman an actual director in Hollywood who got sucked into the secret mastermind's big plan? Or was John Hamilton involved and only made
Roman Bridger.
a Hollywood name because he was aware of this master plan? Maybe it's John Milton himself behind everything. Maybe he didn't actually even die in Scream 3. If Stu Macher can survive a TV to the face and multiple stab wounds, John Milton could certainly fake a throat slash, especially considering him and Roman's background in horror movies and the special makeup effects that they have access to. Or could it still be Stu behind everything? Or both? Either way, Roman not actually being Roman would be a really cool twist, and it would completely change the dynamic of what we thought was true within the franchise, and would instantly remedy a lot of the franchise issues that I personally have. But what do I know? I just want to know what you think about this idea. Is it possible that Roman may never have been Roman in the first place? Is it possible that all of the hoopla surrounding the
Roman Bridger.
and Sidney being siblings, hiring Billy and Sue to kill Maureen Prescott, could all that stuff be one giant lie? Just something to fool the entire cast and the world of Scream into believing one thing, when in reality, none of it's true?
The fuck are you talking about?
Something to think about.
Shut the fuck up.
Love you, babe. Bye-bye. By the way, if you've yet to watch my video on Sidney Prescott's importance to the Scream franchise, and how wrong you are if you think the franchise should continue without her, click here to watch it now, or use the link in the description. Thank you so much for hanging out, and as always, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell to stay informed on all things TobattoVision. And if for some reason you just can't get enough of me and want more, check out my other YouTube channels as well, and feel free to hit me up on social media, where stuff really gets weird. I'll see you next time.